Hey everyone, welcome back, 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 welcome back to my channel. Well, I'm sorry I haven't posted. It hasn't been that long really. This video will probably come out in a few days, so regardless, sorry I haven't posted in a little over a week. My life has been a little crazy lately, so I figured we can just do a life update, and we can do some triggers along with that. So yeah, first thing we gotta do though, we haven't done this in a minute, we've got to compress the energy around the microphone. And guys, I have seen your comments. I know that a lot of you really like the energy compressing, and we can definitely do like a full video of that and other visual triggers, but I think that'd be cool. We can definitely do that in the future. So let's go ahead and compress the energy to get the best sounds possible. So, gotta start out wide, start out wide. There we go. Pull it through the camera from your side. There we go. Trying to get the best sounds possible. The best sounds possible. Alright. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's starting to look pretty good. I've got a nice ball of energy going. I've got me a cup of coffee. And guys, I've been living off of coffee for the past week. So, I guess major life update is my wife had our baby. Little Isabella is here on this earth now, at least out of the womb. She came, today is Saturday, she came a week ago, last Saturday at 9:06 p.m. And it's been crazy. It's been amazing. It's been so many things. So I just figured we'd kind of talk about that, talk about what I've been feeling, talk about what we've been experiencing, all that kind of stuff. And I do have a few triggers here. That we can do along with the rambles, but today is going to be more of a rambly type video. So just to start off, I guess we can talk through, I can walk y'all through Isabella's birthday, or really our kind of whole time there at the hospital. So let's just get that story started off. So, not this past Thursday, but last week, on Thursday, I was at work, and I work in a small little office with 3 cubicles in it, so I share it with 2 other people, and I'm in an appointment with somebody. So I'm not looking at my phone, I'm not checking my phone, none of that. Well, the appointment, it's about to end, we're getting pretty close to the end, but my office partner right next to me, she's also in an appointment, which makes this a little bit funnier, but she stops her appointment, and she's like, "Justin," and I'm like, "Yeah, what?" She's like, "You need to leave now," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Your wife, or Lizzie, is going into labor and delivery," which if you don't know, that doesn't mean she's having the baby now. it just means she's being transported to the labor and delivery section of the hospital. But I don't know if maybe she thought she was having the baby now. I don't know. But she's like, you've got to get the heck out of here. You've got to go. And so that kind of freaks me out, because I'm like, is my wife about to give birth and I'm not there? So the guy sitting in front of me, I look at him because he hears all of this as well. And I look at him and I just look at him like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving now. And he's like, that's fine. Go ahead. I can finish up on my own. And so my adrenaline is like pumping now. I'm like power walking to my truck. Maybe even jogging. I don't know. But I'm booking it to my truck to get to the hospital. But first I gotta stop at our house, because our house has, the go bag, has all the baby stuff we would need, and then also my wife's clothes and stuff she needs, and then my bag. So there's stuff I gotta pick up, so I'm booking it to our house. And so I get there, I'm like scrambling to get everything. I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta get out of here. And so I grab everything, and I'm heading to the hospital, and I call my wife, and I'm like, so what's going on? We're not due for another 3 weeks. And she's had high blood pressure towards the end of this pregnancy, which is not good. It's really not good. It can affect, it can affect the baby, it can affect the health of the mother, all of that fun stuff. So high blood pressure is not good, and we've been monitoring it. And so she was just, she was going for a regular checkup, and they check her blood pressure, and the doctor, he sees it, and it's, I can't remember, it's like 140/98, something like that. And 98, that's like, holy crap, that's high. For reference, she's been sitting at like in the 180s, 170s, which is still, moderately high, but it's nothing too crazy. Sorry about that cut, guys. Like I said, life is crazy, and from here on out, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of cuts in my videos, just with crying baby, parents, in-laws, friends coming over to see the baby, all that fun stuff. Now I'm trying to remember where I left off, because that cut was probably an hour and a half ago. But I believe we were talking about, my wife's blood pressure, how it's been a little bit high. It's been moderately high. But then she goes to this regular old checkup, and it is like noticeably high. And there's a plane going directly over my house. I can see it. Whatever, I'm not cutting it out, we're rolling with it. So my wife's blood pressure, it's like 140/98, whatever it was high, and the doctor was like, okay, well, you are going into labor and delivery, because that is not good. So she goes in, essentially, they give her 3 options. I'm on the way. I call her, and I'm like, what happened? And she tells me all that. And they give her, 3 options. Option 1, she can be induced into labor, have the baby that day. Option 2 is just go into the emergency room, or hospital, and just kind of monitor it. And option 3, which the doctor really did not recommend, is do nothing and see how it plays out. He really didn't like that option, and so I'm driving over there. I get there, we get to the room, and I'm like, so what are we doing? Are we having a baby? Are we not? And so I guess we went with option 2. Not on purpose, it just kind of happened. My wife is like getting monitored. She's getting her blood pressure tested. They're doing like a blood test and a urine test and all that, and we've kind of been on the lookout for preeclampsia, which you're gonna have to look that up, because honestly I'm not even entirely sure what preeclampsia is. I just know it's really bad. It can be really bad. But one of the, a few of the signs of preeclampsia is high blood pressure, protein in the urine, some other stuff in the urine, because that means your kidneys are not functioning how they should. They're not filtering your blood how they should. And so we're waiting for hours on just results. And so they finally come back. We're still deciding, like, do we want to do this today? What do we want to do as far as the blood pressure goes? And the nurse comes in and, like, without even an option, she's like, congratulations, you won a baby. You're gonna be induced. And so that's what happens. They give her the medicine that pretty much puts your body into labor almost. And pretty much, everything was ready. Everything was good to go as far as my wife, ready to have a baby. Everything was ready except for the cervix. Except for, where the baby is going to come out of. And so they give her medicine for all of that fun stuff. And it takes so long. So we get there. I got there Thursday, okay? I got there Thursday. I got there Thursday. And I mean, we don't get the news that she's gonna be induced until, let's see, I got there at probably 10 a.m. We didn't get the news about the induction until maybe 5 or 6 p.m., something like that. And so, it's just a waiting game. And we thought it was gonna work overnight and she was gonna have the baby on Friday. So with this medicine, which is not necessarily designed to do, but it ended up doing it anyways. It ended up, giving her or making her have contractions, which is okay, but I mean, it wasn't necessarily supposed to do that. And so we're like, okay, she's having like 5 or 6 contractions. Was it like every 2 minutes, something like that? It was a lot. And so we go into that night, Thursday night, still having contractions. My wife really wanted to have just a natural birth, no epidural, nothing, just kind of give birth. But that night, her water ends up breaking, and the medicine is working really quick. Her water breaks, and essentially with the water, the fluid in the belly, it kind of gives it cushion, and whenever that breaks, there's less cushion, so the contractions hurt more. And so she's like, okay, we can do this still. But she's having them so frequently, and they're getting more and more painful. Eventually, we get to a point where it's like she can't even talk through them. And we're talking, it's probably like 3 a.m. We got like no sleep Thursday night because of these contractions, because of the pain. We just had no sleep. And so she calls the nurse in, and she's like, yeah, let's do the epidural. She was deathly afraid of the epidural because if you don't know what it is, it's a needle about the size of my hand, and I've got a pretty large hand. Here's I guess a can to compare it with. The needle is about that long, and it's a thick needle, and it has to go in your lower back, like in between your vertebrae in your spine. And guys, that sounds awful. That sounds terrible. So it's a reasonable fear that she had, was the epidural, but she ends up deciding to do it. And it ends up being not as bad as she thought, because they numb it all. They numb the area, they put it in, all that stuff. So we do that. We get no sleep. We get like 1 or 2 hours of sleep, and then we go into the next day when we're supposed to have the baby. They give her another medicine that essentially makes your body have contractions. So they give her that, and it's going fine for a little bit, but eventually she's having these contractions, and the baby's heartbeat, it sticks at like 160, 170 beats per minute, which is kind of normal. But then she would have a contraction and it dips to like 60, which is not good. So the baby was not vibing with the contractions. And it was getting dangerous, so they had to shut the medicine off, and they would put it on and off. And guys, that was such a long day, because we can't do anything but wait. So we're waiting all day Friday, and guys, I'm getting frustrated. I'm scared. My wife is scared. She's frustrated because we've been pregnant before and we lost that baby, and we just didn't want anything to go wrong. And my wife was also terrified of having to have a C-section, which, she just didn't want. Who would want that? And, so many thoughts are just going through my head, and, I'm just praying and stuff, and all this stuff. I'm just making sure I get my days right. So that was Friday. Yeah, I'm just making sure I've got the timeline set in my mind. So we're there Thursday night, we're there Friday night. I need to check a calendar. I actually think, here, give me 1 second. I'm just going to check a calendar real quick, because these days are kind of blurring together at this point. Oh my god, please just let me. It's making me sign into a Microsoft account to use the calendar. You can get some keyboard sounds though. Okay. Wait. Alright. Okay, so we go on Thursday the 13th. Friday is the 14th. Alright. Yeah, okay. So we get there the 14th. We're there that night. We're there Friday. Does she end up being born on Friday? Let me see. Give me 1 second. Alright, yeah. We've got it. So we're there Thursday night. Friday, we're waiting all day long. chances of having a C-section because it's been this long are getting higher and higher, and we're just freaking out. And the cool thing is, you have to dilate, which means where the baby comes out opens up. It's been taking forever for her to dilate. And later in the day, our pastor comes in just to visit. We talk, we're friends and all that. And he ends up praying for us. And like 30 minutes later, the nurse comes in and she's like, all right, you are like 9.5 centimeters dilated and you need to be 10 in order to have a baby. So I think God was there and he answered that prayer, and that was really cool just to see God move in that moment. So she ends up giving birth without a C-section that night, and it's 9:00. She gives birth. It was 9:06 p.m. And I think God just kind of put all the right people in the right places. It was as smooth as it can be, in that moment. And it was just such a crazy feeling getting to meet your baby for the first time, meet your daughter for the first time. It was wild. The whole thing was crazy. We end up leaving. The reason I got my days mixed up is because we left so late on Friday. It was actually Saturday. We didn't leave the hospital. I got home. I got back to my house at 1:30 a.m. So it was just, no, I still have it wrong. See, it's all blurring together. We have the baby. You've got to stay there 24 hours. We have her Friday at 9:06. Then we're there at the hospital all day Saturday. And then we get to leave Saturday at 9:06. It's how it's supposed to have gone. But a couple things happened. One, there was a visiting doctor there. And this part is crazy to me. There's a visiting doctor because the regular doctors aren't there. And he, checks on her. Everything looks good. We're ready to go that night. But he deletes everything. All the medications she was prescribed to get when she goes home. Her entry into the hospital, her departure, all of that. She just deleted. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna take a long time for you to get out of here now because we gotta redo all that. And that was like, what the crap? We've been here for like 3 days now. I want to go home. But they end up fixing it. And then they have to do like 24-hour checks on the baby to make sure she's good to go home. Well, Isabella, our baby, decides that she's just gonna throw the biggest fit ever. And she screams nonstop for like 3 hours, so they can't do these checks. And it takes forever. But eventually we're able to leave. We get home at 1:30, and since then it's just been learning. It's been kind of crazy, because if you think about it, almost every aspect of your life, of how you live, of how you sleep, of how you operate, everything changes literally overnight. And you've just got to adjust. You've got to do new things. It's a new life you start. And that's been really difficult. Really difficult. I'm not, I absolutely love my child. I'm so blessed to have her, but it is very hard. I've had the thought, I don't know how people who don't love each other, who maybe aren't married, I don't get how people who just aren't invested have a child together. Because it takes a lot of work, working together, working as a team. It's a lot. I just don't know how people do it without having that connection with each other. that's that is, the birth story. That is how Isabella entered the world. It was very stressful. It took a very long time. She was in labor for, I think, 36 hours. Very stressful, very hard, but very, very worth it, because, we get to have this beautiful baby girl, and I'm telling you guys, she is so cute. She is beautiful. Probably not going to share any pictures or anything, just because the internet's kind of a weird place. But she's doing great. My wife is doing great. They're all doing good. Thank you all for the prayers. Thank you so much for the prayers. We needed all of them. So now we're just getting used to the new normal. Days aren't that bad. During the daytime, it's really just, she eats, you gotta change her, she sleeps, we just do whatever. That's how daytime goes, but nighttime, that is another beast. That is, I think she has her days and nights mixed up. She doesn't know what's day or what's night. And she'll sleep before. It just kind of depends. Sometimes she'll sleep for like 30 or 40 minutes, then wake up and want to be fed or want to be changed or something like that. Sometimes she'll sleep for 2 or 3 hours, then wake up. But recently she's been cluster feeding, which means they just want to eat back to back to back to back. Like, you can feed her at 9 p.m., then she wants to eat at 9:30, then 9:45, then 10:05, then 10:25. It's constant, and that sucks because you are just awake constantly. And then I don't know what it is about nighttime, but we'll feed her, we'll change her, we'll burp her, all of the stuff you're supposed to do. And she is just still upset, and she's still crying, and you can't figure out what is going on. And that's been a struggle. But, you kind of forget about all of that whenever you're holding her and she's sleeping, and you're like, wow, this is the most beautiful thing on the planet. And she's mine. She's my baby girl. So you forget about all the bad when you're just holding her and she's just looking at you or sleeping, and it is so amazing. And I can't wait to see her grow. I can't wait to see the person she becomes. I can't wait to see her relationship with Jesus. I can't wait to see it all. But right now we're just learning. She's 1 week old today, and so are we. We are 1 week old parents. So there's a lot to learn. But we'll get there. It's not going to be easy, but we'll get there. So that is the story of how Isabella Marie came into the world. And thank you all for the support that you've shown me. I haven't even checked today. I can actually check that right now. We're about to hit 7,000 subscribers, and we may have hit it. I'm gonna check. Sorry, it's behind my phone. Okay, we're at 6.97 thousand subscribers. So 30 more subscribers and we're at 7,000, and that is so awesome, so crazy. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for the support that you've shown me. Thank you for your patience with me as I learn YouTube and ASMR and now have this child. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up the way I've been posting. I've been doing like 2 videos a week. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep that up. It's all going to depend on our baby. But I just want to thank y'all so much for the support that y'all have shown me, and I want to keep pushing these videos out. I want to keep interacting with all of you. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and always know that I am praying for you. Okay? I am praying for you. So if you do need prayer for anything, go ahead and comment it down below. Okay? So we will get back to our regular uploads in the next video. Let me know what y'all want to see, what triggers y'all want to see. But thank y'all, thank you, thank you, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.